At the preparatory meeting of the Project DEAR held in October 2015 in Martorell, Spain, Croatia was given the topic human body, and we had to prepare a lesson that will encompass both language objectives and an IT product which could then be used afterwards. We decided to teach this lesson with two teachers, an English teacher and an IT teacher. This lesson was taught to our lower elementary school students, who are between the ages of 7 and 11, so the primary task was to develop body parts related vocabulary. As a part of the lesson, we decided to develop an Android app which can be used for teaching body parts in a fun and interactive way. In the first part of the lesson, we decided to focus on 26 English names for body parts using activities that appeal to both kinesthetic and visual learners, that is, both learners who easily acquire information by sight and learners who are aided by activities requiring movement. We started the lesson by giving the students the task of writing as many English names for body parts as they can think of. When they finished their lists, some of the students were asked to stand in front of the class and read from their list along with pointing at body parts as they read. Then we introduced the topic to the students by telling them that today they will learn some English names of body parts that are not on their lists and that they will develop an Android application for their smartphones, which will allow them to practice the newly acquired vocabulary. The students were then shown a picture of a human body along with the English names of body parts. The teacher asked the students to stand up and repeat the names of body parts after him, while touching or moving body parts at the same time, employing the total physical response method of language teaching. After the teacher introduced the list of body parts, several students were asked to come forward and repeat the activity in order to drill the pronunciation and to strengthen the bond between the word and the physical movement associated with it. If the student leading the activity made a mistake, the others corrected him, as they could look at the picture with body parts on the PowerPoint presentation. Students were then divided into 4 groups. Each group had to choose a so-called Christmas tree, a student on which the others will stick post-it notes with names of body parts in English. Students were given 5 minutes for this activity, and the teacher checked whether the groups placed post-its on the appropriate body parts. The fourth activity was a game in which the teacher says the name of a body part and the students had to point at that body part. Whoever points at the wrong body part has to sit down and cannot continue the game. We then moved on to creating an Android app that can be used for teaching and practicing the body-related vocabulary. The students were instructed to find an image of a human body which will be used in the application and to open MIT App Inventor on their computers. The task was to make an application which will allow the students to cover different body parts by practicing vocabulary at the same time. The students were then given step-by-step instructions on how to create the app. If they had any difficulties, the teachers were ready to jump in. It is important to mention that we did 2 lessons of 45 minutes each. When the students finished their apps, they were instructed to go to Google Play and to download MIT Companion to their Android phones. Then, they created QR codes for their apps and scanned them with phone cameras, which started the apps on their smartphones. At the end of the lesson, the students played a quiz on Kahoot, which contained questions from the language part of the lesson. The students logged in with the password given by the teacher, and in the end, we declared a winner.